What's an actual psychological cheat code you use in social situations that works almost every time? Being comfortable in silence is power, especially in any sort of negotiation, complaint, somebody asking for something, or vice versa. For some reason, when you stay quiet, people break. Police use this tactic in interrogations with uncompliant suspects. If a question is responded to in an unsatisfactory way, they will look at the suspect expectantly and remain silent, as if they are waiting for them to say something, discuss a detail they were hesitant to discuss, etc. It's very hard to resist that kind of pressure. It's not really a cheat code, but build up people who are part of the same social circle but aren't currently present. For example, if you're out at dinner with your normal circle of friends and one of them isn't there, talk them up and share something positive about them to the rest of the group. Without consciously thinking about it, we start to become aware of the kind of things people in our social circles say about us when we're not present. Sort of like the, if he cheats on his girlfriend to be with you, he's going to cheat on you at some point too. There's a real character-revealing element when someone is bad-mouthing someone who isn't there, where we recognize that we might be spoken negatively about by the same friend when we're not there. If you tell your group, "Man, I can't believe how good John is getting at guitar," when John isn't there, you're planting seeds of trust in the others in your circle that if they're ever the ones that are missing from the social situation, you're more likely to be building them up than tearing them down. If you tell them, "Can't believe John still has that stupid mustache," and try to get a laugh out of them, assuming you wouldn't say that to John if you were there, you might get some laughs, but you'll also be planting seeds of distrust instead. More broadly, apply the same technique even if the person is present. If you're hanging out with two people you know who don't know each other well, and the subject is about desserts, tell Jenny, "Sarah here is an incredible baker. She made the best chocolate chip cookies for our Christmas party." None of this has to be obvious or overt. Don't force these sort of things. But if you can associate in people's heads a sense of, this person builds people up, instead of this person tears people down, especially, but not exclusively, when the person they're building/tearing isn't there, you're going to build a sense of trust in others. Speaking at a lower volume if someone is being unnecessarily loud. One of my best friends has a loud voice she is completely unaware of, which can be incredibly annoying when we're in public. So I will lower my speaking volume and she will subconsciously lower hers to match my volume. This is a good one. Telling someone they're being loud, even when you're being as nice as possible, often just makes them deflate. Remember what they said to you the last time you saw them. If you last saw them a month ago, if you remember they were doing a thing, remember that thing and mention it.
This is a genuine superpower of mine, but it can often freak people out, email. I can remember the exact context of pretty much any social situation. I've had to tone it down on the details so I don't look like a stalker or some shit. For example, I ran into a neighbor who I used to play soccer with. I was like, "So, did things ever work out with Sarah?" He had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. I was like, "Sarah, remember? It was that day we thought the game was going to be canceled because of the snowstorm? We were both running late and got there as soon as the game started. Remember, we played Los Pumas, that team in first place, and we held them to a 0-0 draw? Then we went to McDonald's after, and you got the fillet of fish, and I was roasting you for it, ha ha ha. Then I asked your weekend plans, and you said you were hanging out with a new woman named Sarah?" He was like, "How in the actual fuck did you remember any of that after a year?" I have hundreds of examples like this, email. Someone doesn't like you? Give them a genuine compliment. Keyword genuine, lol. I worked with this girl and we disliked each other. One day, I just looked at her. She'd gotten her hair done. And I said, "That looks really good on you." And her usual stank face went to confused so fast, lol. "But you have to mean it." I did. It suited her. But your enemy will leave you alone for a while as they go ponder what chess game you're playing. Benjamin Franklin had a similar method. He asked his enemies to do him a small, simple favor. Borrow a book, for example, ask for advice, something very small, very basic, non-monetary. He found that when someone did him a favor, no matter how small, it made them feel as though they were friends, as that is what friends do.
People are inclined to like people who are indebted to them. It's a psychological trick. Trying to get people to do favors for you will make them like you.
I don't know about this, but I admit you're probably right. I used to work with this woman, and we were forced to share an office. We hated each other and would trade insults all day. Genuine disdain for each other. She was loud, lazy, not the brightest. I just really disliked her, and it was absolutely mutual on every level. One day, while we were going at it, I sarcastically said something like, "I have a lot of respect for you," or something similar. Absolutely meant as a barb/insult, but she didn't catch the sarcasm and thought I was being genuine with her. Almost instantly from that moment on, her entire attitude changed, and we got along great. Like literally a single comment changed our entire relationship. I worked with her for another 4 years, and literally for the rest of that time, we got along well. I never told her I was being sarcastic. Goes to show, there's not really much difference between hating someone and liking someone.
Every once in a while, declare peace. It confuses the hell out of your enemies. 76 Rule of Acquisition. This can backfire. I disliked a girl once, but she was, to my misfortune, incredibly pretty. I mentioned it to her a few times. The confused look followed. And then, a few years later, bam. Married, 2 kids, bought a house together, traveled the world. So watch out. My hack has turned into a hobby. I look for people doing a good job. When I find someone that is pretty good at what they're doing, I make sure to compliment them, tell their boss the good news, and, if applicable, I tell corporate. It's surprising how much that helps the person, how much it confuses their boss, since it's not a complaint, and how long that it's remembered. Later on, if I return to the same place, I get better treatment, and that can lead to others you're with to think better of you. Inversely, when I see others treating people badly, particularly those in a service position, my opinion of them goes sharply down. I am far from the only one like this. Edit. Thank you all for the upvotes and supportive comments. Still remember from my first retail job. I was 15, the only person running checkout, the line was growing, I'm frantically trying to get people out the door and also handle the phone that for some reason won't stop ringing, and some nice lady just said, "You're doing a good job." It's 25 years later and I still haven't forgotten that. Remember, everyone has an invisible tag on around their neck, saying, "Make me feel important." It's very true. One thing that I'll do when someone is irritating or boring me is to imagine, to myself silently, that they will actually die in the next 24 hours, painlessly. My job, then, is to help them have a good final 24 hours. It sounds morbid, but it's not. There's meaning and joy that can be pulled out of many moments, even dull and irritating ones. Again, obviously it would be insane to mention this internal thought to anyone at the time or afterwards. This is a very simple variation on Buddhist Maranasati meditation or Stoic thinking around death, which is tons more elaborate. I've done it often, and it always bucks up my own mood and gets me back into a real conversation. My problem with this tactic is I'm gonna see the person again the next day, and the day after, and the day after that, and eventually, I'll just snap. "Why aren't you dead yet?" I pretend everyone I meet is in love with me. I mean, not literally, I'm not a complete narcissist. But I'll start conversations with strangers who give me a smile or a knowing look. Assuming they like me makes me feel more likable. I've made friends more easily in my 30s than I did at any other time in my life. Romanticizing my life is fun, and gets me to act more vivacious and charismatic. It's also just good practice for higher stakes social interactions, where I might lack confidence. I pretend everyone I meet is going to be my new best friend, but only I know it. So the vibe is more, "Oh good, you're here, finally," instead of, "Who are you?" I have an old friend who has consistently amazed me with his ability to make friends anywhere and in any circumstances, not just in a pleasant, "howdy stranger" way either. This dude has years-long good buddies that he literally met because he once sat next to them on an airplane. Then I remember how we became friends, which was basically a 2-step process of 1, we meet and say hi, and 2, oop, too late, now we're buddies. That was 30 years ago. Bastard has been pulling this shit his whole life, lol. When someone is angry, like irrationally, psychotically angry, get them to say yes to anything. Are you mad? Do you want help? Do you want me to give you space? It engages a different part of the brain, and after that's engaged, you can help them with problem solving. Use this a ton in retail, works wonders. Preps them because most of the time I had to tell them no, or we can't do something. And if I could help them, suddenly you're a savior versus a button pusher.
On the other side of the coin, when I'm having trouble with a defective product or other issue, when the back and forth gets stuck in a loop, I say a quick overview of the situation, then say, "What do we do now?" The ball's in their court. Don't say a word, let the awkward silence linger. Eventually, they'll have to say something, and more often than not, it's a solution to the problem. Real example, I went to a computer store to buy a computer case. There was stock in the system and the website. After I bought it, paid for it, they realized they didn't have it in stock. I asked for my money back, but I paid with credit card. They couldn't give my money back because reasons. I said, "I bought this computer case and paid for it. I'm not leaving until I either get my money back or I get that computer case. What do we do now?" After a long, awkward silence, he said that they could deliver it to my address free of charge. It's a small one, but it comes up often enough that it's been useful. People often repeat themselves, and a knee-jerk response to someone bringing up something you'd already heard about is, "You've told me this already," which, incidentally, has a somewhat negative connotation to it. Instead of saying that, say, "I remember you told me about this." It's more kindly affirming to the other person that you've listened when they told you the details/story in the past, while also serving as a gentle reminder that they've already shared it. One response makes the person feel shut down, whereas the other leaves them feeling heard. It's a small change, but it's come up a hell of a lot, and I like using it. All people have insecurities.
Using your powers for evil, I see.
If you're talking to someone on the phone or online, mute yourself to avoid interrupting them. That way, even if you do say something, they don't hear it and don't get interrupted. This is pretty much a must for me with ADHD, always wanting to jump in. Now, if only I could find a similar solution for in-person conversations. Covering my mouth with my hand tends to get weird looks and questions. Raise my eyebrows when I smile hello. Usually we only do that for people we recognize, so it makes people feel like they are already accepted. I hand it to you. By doing that, you would likely monopolize the next several hours of my brain activity, all spent trying to decipher where we previously met and why I can't remember, LOL. An effective way to deal with passive-aggressive comments is stupid and cheerful. Don't read into their comment, rise above it.